we have got your point, Vijayanji. I just want to get in Sudheendra ji before I go back to Ayan as well. Sudheendra ji, the point which our panelists are making, what Mr. Vijayan Mishra is also saying is, you can't have your cake and eat it both ways.
Yeah.
If you say either you look at politics as a public service, in which case then the issue of money doesn't come in. Just like when we see, I mean, you see politics as the same noble service like a doctor's or a fireman's service, in which the issue of money should not be ideally a primary concern. If you're comparing it to corporates, which you have done so, and say that, if in corporates we get increments appraisals, then you have to understand that A, these decisions are not taken by the employees themselves, their decisions are taken by bosses on the basis of performance evaluation. And no honest performance evaluation will reward employees shirking of attendance reward them with massagers or with recliners. There has to be a monitoring or accountability system which lacks, which is why then every time an MLA or a group of MLAs decide to give themselves a pay hike, us citizens can only see it with suspicion and cynicism.
Yeah. I beg to differ with Mr. Vijayan Mishra, mainly because in politics, I mean, he spoke about accountability, performance index, and motivating and all those things. But then there is no such system across the country. It is not a Karnataka phenomenon or our state phenomenon. This has been like that since the way when this system started. So this is not a point which can be discussed and decided on based on one state. This is something which has to be discussed at the central level. All state has to be taken into consideration, and then if any such changes has to be done, then it is to be done. Saying that, if you cut off all the facilities, monetary facilities or any such facilities for them, then you mean to say only the rich can come and enter into the politics? There is no, because I am a very ordinary person. I am a very average person. I was serving in a very big corporate. So you don't want people like us to come and join? I mean, there is no motivation or there is talking of accountability. Show me a system, devise a system, and then let us speak of accountability. When there is no such system and people
that is why lawmakers are there, sir.
People are there.
Sudheendra ji, that's what lawmakers are there. I understand that Karnataka is not the only state which is guilty of this. But surely the defense cannot be that, all states are doing this, surely we do. But I get your point.
No, what I'm trying to say is...
That's the reason why we're doing this at the top of 8 p.m.
This will also encourage young and other qualified people to join politics, and it will reduce dependence on unofficial funding to a considerable level. So, you should take all the things into consideration. Too much has been made out of this recliners and massagers, and again, going to corporates or any other facility, recliners and massagers is nothing. If you really see a corporate culture of the kind of facilities provided, these are peanuts. The kind of, the assembly sessions are run for 10 to 12 hours. Last assembly session, all in Belgaum, the first 8 days, one day it was almost up to 11:30 in the night. So that is what it is, the prerogative of the speaker who had this initiative based on certain inputs from the MLAs. Let us not, make this a very big issue out of this recliners and, sofas or whatever, massagers that have been brought. It's very small.
Fair enough. I get your point. I'm just reminded of an incident. I'm just reminded of an anecdote which my mother once told me. She is a school teacher, and she said that once a principal found a teacher sitting on the chair during an exam, and immediately after that, all the chairs were removed from the classrooms in order to ensure that teachers never sit while studying here. That's the kind of mechanism we need. Dr. Sudha quickly wanted to make a point, and I'll go to Ayan Faria for the last word. Dr. Sudha, go ahead.
Yeah. I just remember what Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, that a tree should not grow that tall that it does not give shadow to the people. So it is here also, it is the same thing. If the public representative has really been a shadow to the sorrows of the people, yes, he deserves a tap on the back. But no, it is not happening. So I think that the people of Karnataka should be addressed first for all their grievances. Later on, all these other things can be done.
How do we address this, Ayan Faria? Again, the point which Mr. Sudheendra said was not wrong. It's not just Karnataka here. We have still not reached a point where we don't have an system of accountability where apart from every 5 years we get to choose between one party and the other party. There is no way of giving a yearly review as to whether MLAs or lawmakers in general are doing the work they are doing.
Yeah, I think the trick is now, give them all these things. You're talking 12.75 lakhs now. Why are we talking small amounts? Number one, let's talk at the bigger picture. If each of them shirks for 1 hour a day on the job, the exchequer loses lakhs and lakhs of rupees. So let's take that into consideration. Give them their small sops. I mean, if they're going to be happy with that, give it to them. Give them their pay hike. Actually, then we can demand and say, you can't take bribes now. You've been giving a fair salary. Why are you not working for the salary, and why are you working for the under the table amount? I mean, look at the amount that they are signing off on. They're actually giving out contracts and projects worth hundreds of crores of rupees or thousands of crores of rupees. Why are we being so small-minded here? Why aren't we looking at how do we get accountability from our ministers? Because they are accountable to us. We have voted them in. We have to ask them those questions. If we can trade this off now to say, take the pay hike, take your recliners, but give us accountability, I would be very happy with that.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure I don't think any of our citizens will mind our MLAs or our lawmakers getting a bit more comfortable working conditions. We all understand their pain. But again, it's a question of delivery. And unfortunately, we still don't have a suitable method in which we can decide how much. I mean, if there's public servants, ideally, if we are the bosses, we should be. Yeah, if they're public servants, we should ideally be in a position to decide their increment and pay hike. We don't have that system yet. But nevertheless, thank you for having this discussion, Dr. Sudha, also Sudheendra Ji, for making some very valid points as well, and Faria and also Bijan Mishra. Pleasure having you on the panel.